Perhaps the most curious and hazardous feature of our human design lies in the profound difficulty we have registering what we actually feel. Our vast and strange minds, these intricate landscapes of thought and memory, often get filled with ideas that go unsifted and with feelings we lack the courage to truly look at. It's a quiet, internal fog. We might be experiencing a deep-seated anger or a pervasive sadness while lacking any active, conscious awareness that we are. We could be grappling with the heavy weight of guilt or the sharp sting of envy, yet have no real grasp of what's truly at play behind a thin psychological curtain we've drawn for our own protection. So why do we do this? Why do we, creatures of such immense intellectual capacity, choose ignorance over insight? We often remain unconscious because we are deeply, almost instinctively, resistant to ideas that threaten our cherished sense of calm, our carefully constructed self-image, and our most gratifying illusions about who we are. This resistance is a powerful defense mechanism. The internal logic, though often flawed, is deceptively simple. We surely can't be angry because we see ourselves as kind, patient people who couldn't possibly feel such a negative emotion toward a beloved, albeit difficult, elderly relative. The frustration we feel must be something else, perhaps just fatigue. We tell ourselves we can't be sad about not being invited to that party because we are above such things. We don't care about trivial social matters. To admit sadness would be to admit vulnerability, to admit that we do care. And it simply isn't possible that we're envious of a colleague's promotion because we aren't the kind of people to covet the advantages of others. We believe in being happy for them. Each of these rationalizations is a small stone placed on a wall, built to keep the flood of true feeling at bay. And yet, while the greatest share of our mental apparatus privileges this convenient forgetting over the challenging work of understanding, we do nevertheless have a conscience. Think of it as a persistent, incorruptible truth-teller within us. There's a part of us, however small, that wants the truth, no matter how bitter it might be. It may be a minor part, often drowned out by the noise of our daily lives and our loud defenses, but it is a notoriously insistent and ingenious part. It simply won't leave us in peace until its case has been heard. It knows that unresolved emotions don't just disappear. They fester. In order to stir us from our self-imposed reverie, this conscience will give us all manner of problems. It orchestrates breakdowns, inexplicable illnesses, persistent nervous twitches, and strange compulsions. These are not signs of failure. They are distress signals, flares sent up from a part of ourselves that is desperate for attention, all in the hope of letting us know that there is something important, something vital, that we would benefit from reckoning with. When our conscience has done everything it can to alert our conscious minds through psychological means and has been repeatedly ignored, it has a tendency to change its strategy. It sets to work on our bodies. This is its final, most potent method of communication. More specifically, it forces us to feel, in the concrete form of a physical symptom, what we have refused to feel outright as an idea or an insight. The body, in its wisdom, cannot lie. This lack of emotional awareness returns to haunt us, not as a ghost, but as a physical ailment. It's a process of translation, from the language of emotion to the language of physiology. If our intellect stubbornly refuses to look at our simmering anger towards a boss or a family member, that repressed energy may be sent to dwell in our lower back, creating chronic pain and stiffness. If our gnawing anxiety about the future isn't being dealt with psychologically, if we just keep pushing it down and saying, "I'm fine," it may be relegated to our gut, manifesting as irritable bowel syndrome or constant indigestion. Romantic frustration, deep hurt, or a grief that is denied may, quite literally, begin to wreck our hearts, leading to palpitations and arrhythmias. Our unfelt feelings, these exiled parts of our experience, end up as debilitating back pain, stubborn constipation, sleepless nights of insomnia, blinding migraines, and a host of other physical complaints that seem to come from nowhere. However well-meaning they might be, the practitioners of modern medicine seldom know to ask the right questions in these situations. Our doctors are trained to be brilliant detectives of the material world. They picture themselves fixing material problems caused by material malfunctions. They order blood tests, MRIs, and CT scans. They look for pathogens, inflammation, and structural damage. It is not a failing on their part, but a limitation of their training that it might not occur to them that it's an ex-partner's lingering betrayal that has broken our kidneys' energy or has stifled lifelong rage against our father that's freezing up our vertebrae one by one. The medical chart has no entry for a broken heart or a spirit crushed by responsibility. This is why we must do the work ourselves. We must become our own healers. In order to spare our bodies some of their mute, agonizing cries for help, we must take on the role of the compassionate detective for our own inner world. We should submit our bodies to a curious-sounding but remarkably powerful exercise. Find a quiet moment, with your eyes closed, perhaps while lying in bed at night or in the stillness of the early morning. Begin to mentally pass over your different organs and zones, like a gentle, caring spotlight. Linger on each part with patience. Then, for each part, gently and sincerely ask, if this could speak, what might it want to tell me? What truth have I been asking you to hold for me? What might the heart ask for if given a voice? Perhaps it yearns to forgive someone or to be forgiven. What about the legs? Maybe they are tired of walking a path that isn't ours. The shoulders? Perhaps they would confess the immense weight of the responsibilities they carry. And the stomach? It might whisper that it can no longer stomach a toxic work environment. Our minds are probably far better able to think of answers than we might presume. The truth is often waiting just below the surface, eager to be acknowledged. It could become surprisingly, shockingly clear once we finally ask the question, that our tense shoulders are desperate for a difficult relationship to end, that our churning stomachs want us to take on less and to say no more often, that our aching hearts want a chance to say a proper, I'm sorry, or goodbye, that our constricted ribcage has had enough of pretending it's happy at family gatherings, and that our lungs, tight and shallow, desperately need an opportunity to take a full, deep breath, or maybe even a scream. Many of our most persistent bodily ailments are, ultimately, mute forms of revenge enacted by the parts of ourselves we have so carefully and consistently refused to entertain. They're distress signals, profound messages in a bottle sent from the exiled, forgotten territories of our own hearts. But the beautiful and empowering truth is that we hold the power to bring these exiles home. We can end the internal civil war. We will feel so much better, so much lighter, and more integrated in our own bodies. Once we have repatriated these concerns to our minds, once we have reversed the process of forgetting and dared to finally see, feel, and endure what we have been in flight from for far too long. This is not a process of punishment or self-flagellation, but one of profound homecoming. It is the courageous act of turning around to face the shadows we've been running from, only to find they are not monsters, but lost children, parts of ourselves that just want to be seen and heard. By learning to listen to the whispers of our bodies, we can prevent them from having to scream. We finally give our minds and our entire being the wholeness and peace they have been searching for all along. This journey of self-translation, of learning the language of your own body and soul, is at the very heart of what we explore here. If this reflection resonated with you, and you wish to continue this path of deeper self-understanding, we warmly invite you to join our community. Please consider subscribing to our channel for more content that helps us navigate the beautiful, complex landscape of our inner lives. Thank you for watching and for taking this time for yourself.